Hey AfterBuzzers, thanks for tuning into Orphan Black's After Show. Today we're going to be talking about Season 4, Episode 2, Transgressive Border Crossing, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Whoa, the theme song. We're back. We're back, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Orphan Black's After Show. Sam is not here. I know you're bummed probably. She broke her foot dancing by herself. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell the world that, but everybody knows
but
now, Sam.
It's there. It's out there. We can't take it back, Sam.
She misses you. She'll be back next week. Hey, I'm Kelly McInerney, though, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HollyWeirdo, and check out these other awesome hosts.
Hello! I'm Amanda. I'm so excited to be here, and you can find me at AmandaFTA31 on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
I am Joelle Monique. You can find me everywhere at Joelle Monique.
Woohoo.
Simple enough.
Try it.
So, Transgressive Border Crossing, Episode 2, we're back with our girls, which is great.
Finally.
Yeah. Starts off with just like, gotta get out of Iceland. S being badass, burning the house down.
Just prepare to torch everything.
Burning the monkey, too.
I know, a monkey.
Kind of.
Why?
Kind of maybe, I don't know, a sign or something. No, it's not good.
It definitely felt like a symbol for Kira maybe not being such a kid anymore, which we're seeing a lot of in this episode of her, like, you know, like, I don't need this mom.
She's getting a little snooty. She's getting a little attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, though.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But I heard that they had to do that only in one take because they actually burned down the set.
Oh, really?
So they did it all in one take, so they only had that one time to get it right.
Wow.
I
was just thinking about that from like any type of like from an actor perspective. Could you imagine you have one time to get it right?
Wow.
There is, I mean, granted she didn't say anything.
I mean,
Like there's nothing to remember, but
yeah. Pressure's on, but
the pressure's on.
I think that heightens your
I'm sure.
drama, maybe. I don't know.
I'm sure, and she's a brilliant actress. So
Yeah, it's really great. So after apparently they were gone for 3 months, 2 houses in flames, according to Kendall. They end up at the rabbit hole, where we check in with Cosima, who's it's kind of sad because she's still weak.
Yeah.
And very upset about Delphine, who's probably dead. I just
she
rewatched
got shot point blank. I don't think she walked away from that.
Yeah.
But I did think it was kind of interesting how Em was like, you know, asking about Delphine before. I wonder how much Em knows about Delphine. Like, she's asking questions about her, but I got the sense that she might know something. And since we don't know who killed Delphine, I don't know.
I always think that S knows
suspicions.
more than we think she does.
Oh, I think everybody knows more. You know?
But it was interesting to see Cosima kind of looking at S as a mother's figure, even though she doesn't really know her. I mean, she knows her pretty well, but she doesn't know her that well. To see, you know, for someone like Cosima who's so intelligent and is always thinking, to really break down and say, can you please tell me that she's okay, when you know that she can't tell you that.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting character development for Cosima, because she doesn't seem like the type of person that would say something like that, but you could tell she's so desperate, and it's such a good moment.
Yeah. Yeah, you never really see her ask for help for, like, look for a mother figure or anything.
Right.
So this was a sweet moment.
I think she's weak, I think she's tired, and I think she's desperate.
Needs
For
answers.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the pet name of Chicken was so cute.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, come on now, like, be all of their moms. Like,
Doesn't she
clone
call
family.
Sarah Chicken?
I believe that she does.
Yeah, that was cute. Also dropped a bomb. Kendall has leukemia. Only Scott knows. Do you think that'll have an effect on the sequencing the genome and everything? Like, are they gonna still use her blood, or?
Man.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you bring it up and it doesn't have an effect. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes the science on this show goes a little over my head.
Sure.
But I'm pretty sure leukemia, which is in the blood, will have something to do with the blood that they're taking out of her arm, yes.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody will be okay.
I know.
You never know with this show, you know?
Yeah, we definitely don't want Cosima to have leukemia on top of everything. Like, and it's gonna be really weird to see how she deteriorates now, because she's such like a feisty woman who's like, you know, kind of take no shits, like power charge, and I'm wondering if this will have any effect, like if she's gonna stay that way until she dies, or if we're gonna get to see her kind of be humbled and become more human as we go along.
Don't say die. That makes me so sad.
I mean, her intentions were good. She's like, I just met my daughter. I don't want a pity party. I want it to be about her, but You gotta let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, I think she needs to let them know because it's a huge deal, especially when they're taking blood from her arm.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal.
But just from a character perspective point, it'll be interesting to see her and Scott work together and kind of develop that. Because Scott is hilarious. Like, he's one of my favorite, like, secondary characters on the show. So I'm interested to see, like, how they're, like, her kind of snippy attitude and Scott's, like, kind of demure, like, I just want to help. Please don't be mad at me.
I just noticed that Scott's full name is Scott Smith on the show, which I just think that's such a great choice that the writers made because he seems like he's in the background, kind of basic, kind of just there, but I feel like he might end up being more of a lead character towards the end of the season.
Maybe.
He knows a lot.
He's like Cosima's right-hand man. And with Delphine gone, he's the one that knows everything.
Yeah.
You know, she usually had her to lean on. Whatever happened to Shay, though? Is she still dating Shay?
That's what I want to know.
Didn't Shay betray her?
No.
We've got weird bets on Shay are like really like out there right now. Like, did Shay kill Cosima's last girlfriend?
Yeah.
Like, because she had the whole military like background thing that she was keeping from Cosima.
Yeah.
So I really need Shay to come back and explain herself. But it has been 2 months.
Yeah.
So my guess is we're gonna keep kind of doing this fill back in, like, go forward thing. The other thing that was cool was that we got a timeline in this episode.
Yeah.
Finally, when Felix was like, it's been 6 months. If it was 6 months ago this chick was pregnant, she's probably home with a baby. I was like, oh, finally. Like, that one sentence made me so relieved. I was like, this helps immensely. Like, we half a year for all 4 seasons. And 2 months happened, like, that we don't even see in the blink of an eye. So,
But
caught up.
It's fast.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
And what I love about this episode and this season is that it's going back to the basics.
Yeah.
Like when they started going into the whole military and the male clones and everything.
Too much.
It started becoming a little bit too much. And when I was watching the BBC after show that they do, they said that they were saying that they're evolving, you know, because somebody asked, do you know what's going to happen in the end? And the writer said, well, we have been evolving and things change and things get more complicated. And they said, and also we have to bring it back in and bring it back to the basics because that's what people are really interested in.
Right.
The Beth story and things like that. So I love that this season's going back to the basics and this episode in particular brought back everybody that we love. It literally made me smile while I was watching it.
It's good too because you never thought how. I guess you did think how important Beth was, but you never would. You thought she's dead. You don't.
It's over. Yeah.
And you couldn't really have an idea. Like when Alison found out that Sarah wasn't Beth, you kind of get like feelings of that. But to see like how much Alison kind of like doted on her and needed her, and how much Cosima like kind of was just starting to open up and trust, and then to see Beth's whole downward spiral, like the fact that she committed suicide, you know, days after we're kind of like introduced to her in this situation. I mean, they played it off so well. Like, you could believe, I would be exhausted at this point, too. Like, I can't trust anyone. People are constantly hunting me down.
Right.
Everyone needs something from me. Even the one who's supposed to be the strongest, we learned here, MK. Like, she is so, like, she's got everything under control. She knows the most. And yet she's still like, please don't leave me, Sarah. Like, I need you. I get it. Like, poor Sarah, I'm sorry, Beth. Poor Beth was under just so much stress.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Alison, how she was, like, so close to Beth. Do you think, like, now she's, like, kind of built up a wall for Helena? Do you think it's because she doesn't want to get hurt again?
I think the wall for Helena has everything to do with...
She's a crazy person.
Well, crazy, but also...
Huge.
She has the only thing she wants. Like, she can understand it from Sarah. Like, you already have a kid, and, you know... like the kid's here, but to watch them, like someone who looks like her and has all the same like physiology as her, get to have like not just one baby, but twins. Like, I don't want to get to know that person. Like, I'm angry at you for having everything I can't have, and then also to have her husband like go with her and share all these experiences that they wanted to experience. I think like as the series goes on, those walls are just going to get thicker.
Yeah, it's a bummer because Helena. It's the like I feel like Helena wants to be just like Alison.
Oh, yeah.
Like Donnie even says that. But Alison's just, I mean, I guess, of course you're going to get angry. You're a human being, you know? You want kids, and somebody else that looks just like you can have them.
That is just like you.
Yeah.
Who's a crazy person.
Right,
Yeah.
who really, and I'm sure in Alison's like very perfect, neat, organized. I'm the PTA like head person, and I run school things. You know, like, why not me? You know, and then to like, she's going to be so close inundated with the child and with Helena. I think that's just going to get harder and harder on her.
I think think at first it'll be hard, but I like Alison a lot, and I think she'll learn to deal with whenever the kids come. She'll be a great aunt. I feel like she's a great
Or
soccer
second
mom.
mom.
Yeah, I was gonna say, definitely, like, she's probably gonna be like, right
Godmother.
over Helena's shoulder,
But
like,
no.
don't do that.
Things are gonna boil, I think, a little bit before then.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah might have to intervene, or Cosima, because I mean, Alison, as we know, is not as nice and perfect as we think she is.
Yeah.
Like, I could see her really coming down on Helena hard.
She can get really petty sometimes.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't surprise
Yeah.
me.
I mean, let's go back to the Fawcett scene when she killed that woman. Oh my God.
Yeah, they were like, she said to Donnie, "Oh, she's a murderer," and he's like, "Well, aren't we? No, we're
Manslaughter.
manslaughter."
Yeah.
Oh God, listen to
Not
me.
much of a difference.
Not
Totally
really at all.
different in Alison's head.
Yeah.
I love her little craft room, though. It's just
great, yeah.
No, it's pretty cute.
It's a great set. Like, just
Yeah.
there's so much that they've done, like the torture scene with Donnie before she started to trust him, and a bunch of other like really great moments happening there.
Yeah.
And the rabbit hole's great too.
Yeah, yeah. And then so we go to Sarah and Art, who and then we go back into like the past timeline where we
was so
learn
cool.
more about Beth, which is great because I think you said last week, right, that you were not going to see any more about Beth.
And we kind of didn't because we only saw it through video, really.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, there were some parts that it was her.
they did go on a little bit. I just thought it was really ingenious that they were like, we're going to use security footage that Beth installed herself to go back and like look at the. Like, it just felt so natural and right, especially coming from them as like detectives and trying to like investigate and retrack her steps. That was really, really well played by the writers.
Yeah. It's crazy that that hasn't been touched in like 6 months, that apartment building. Like, where's her parents? I know like Art mentioned something that they were going to come, but they didn't.
And then Dyad or something is paying for it, or paying for the apartment.
Apartment
or
through the
something
year,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, it's a little bizarre, but I love that they showed what was going on between Art and Beth, because there were times in the past seasons where I'm kind of like, why does Art still care? Like, why is Art so invested in this? And now I understand. Matters of the heart. Matters of the heart. Because if he wasn't, I mean, yes, I understand that she was his partner, but after a while, why would you be so, he was so invested. Like, I kept being like, why does this guy keep coming back? Now I understand. Now it makes sense.
It's great. It's funny because I feel like Sarah and Art are like a step behind Beth where she last left off, you know? Because we saw last episode, Beth got Leaky's book. This episode, they find the book at Beth's house. And that's when like as you said, it goes back to the beginning. Sarah goes back to the beginning to club Neolution.
Neolution.
Which is crazy. I was on the after show again. I was watching how the person who, you know how there was that guy in the club that had the two, like the split tongue. They actually had an actor call, and that guy really has that. Like that's a real person.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, that's not hair and makeup. That is a real thing.
There's probably
that's
like
crazy.
If you ever look on like LA casting, they have like weird casting things, like need a guy with a mohawk, but like
It's true.
2 tongues or whatever. Yeah.
It's true. And LA Casting's a database, if anybody doesn't know, if someone's watching who doesn't live in LA. LA Casting's a database where people can submit themselves for different projects. Reality
Casting
shows,
networks,
commercials.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Crazy.
So I don't know. So it seems like a little bit of tension between Felix and Sarah, though.
Oh,
Especially, yeah. Especially when he mentioned that he was looking for his birth parents, which I think is a great idea.
Yes.
She's not happy about it. What do you guys think? Like, why does she feel a bit mad about it?
I feel because she wants to be his whole world. Like,
Yeah. She wants to be a sister.
Yeah, and I mean, like, look, Felix only has Sarah, really. Like, you know, mom's off doing all things at all times. They don't have any other siblings. They don't really have a father. You know, so that's his lifeline is through Sarah. So if he finds someone else, I think Sarah feels kind of threatened. Like, who else do you need? Like, I'm right here. Why are you going out and searching for other people? And I feel like she just wants them to be a family. Like, we're cohesive. We don't need anybody else. We're involved in all this crazy drama. Like, what we definitely don't need is more people invested in this. But I also think that's really selfish. Like,
Yeah, I feel like the whole thing, it's all about her. It's like, let him, he needs to find answers too. He needs to find out his history. You found out who your mom is, basically, like Kendall kind of is. Now,
But we have to remember, Sarah, as much as I love the character, she is a bit selfish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
For
let's go back to episode 1 where she takes Beth's identity and becomes Beth. And like she left, and like she loves Kira so much, but in the beginning she had left Kira for a long while.
She
She's
sure
a bit
did.
of a selfish person, so I kind of think that it was a total selfish move.
yeah.
She's like, let's go down to the bar and get a beer.
let's go to Club
Rivers to figure out what I want to do.
And you need to get in. And then he got stingy when he was like, hey, I need money to like pay cover. And she was like, what? Why? Ma'am, I didn't agree to any of this before I came here.
And then she completely ditches him. Oh, Felix, sorry, I gotta go. You know.
Well, Felix kind of ditched her before when he was like, I just belong out there. Like, I'm just gonna go dance. Please
He's
leave me
kind of
be.
he's like over it. Can we also talk about how he saw his tushy in this episode?
Well, he always likes to paint naked, doesn't he?
BBC America is getting raunchy.
Yeah. I feel like we've seen it before.
It's like, are we watching Showtime or are we watching BBC America?
I appreciate BBC America. Never change. Never.
I agree.
Can we talk about like Alison meeting Felix in the apartment? Because I thought that was a really great scene between the two of them. I like that Alison is like, you know what? In the absence of Sarah, I'm gonna come take care of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they're always nice together. Like the bartending scene from a few seasons or last season.
Yeah.
It was great. Like they have a great chemistry.
Yeah, absolutely. They're so cute and their bickering back and forth is really great. And I like that he has confided in her, you know, to tell her like, you know, I'm looking for my family, but I also think that shows a lot about how much Alison doesn't know about Sarah. When she was like, oh, no, they're definitely going to support you. And Felix was like, well, maybe.
Yeah. At least she supports him, though.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like S might, too. I don't know. I feel like Sarah's just very concerned with what's going on. Like, let's not look into your parents. There's a worm in my cheek, you know?
Yeah, which is understandable
Yeah.
to a point. To a point. I still think she's a little selfish. But I wouldn't want her any other way. That's what makes her interesting.
That's true. She's pretty cool. But, so we go back to the surveillance, and we learn more about Beth and MK. And Detective Duco, the guy with the glasses, comes and visits her. This wasn't in, I guess it was in the surveillance, but we saw it from her perspective, kind of.
Right.
How he threatens her, basically. And then we just see pieces like her in a blonde wig and blood. Do you guys think that she killed him? Do you think?
I wouldn't put it past her.
And
killed
we don't
somebody.
see him
Ever
right
recently, at least.
And then it's MK who's there when she's washing her hands. But Pregnant Lady mysteriously disappears. So it wouldn't also surprise me if Pregnant Lady was hurt, or like maybe she didn't kill it, but she was there and witnessed the death, or maybe the birth of the child and like crazy things went down and that's what happened. But I want to know now.
I'm sure they'll show us. I'm sure they're going to show us. And that scene between MK and Beth was absolutely beautiful. I loved it. Like Tatiana Maslany is pretty good.
And that was
The vulnerability is insane.
Yeah,
my
that
God.
was the night, right? That she.
Yeah. She's clearly saying goodbye. Like, you take care of them. I'm out. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that leaves MK terrified to tell. Like, she confided in Beth to tell like all this information, and it basically drove her crazy. I mean, also drug use, not recommended to.
Deal with your psychosis and stress, maybe.
She was
maybe not
going
that.
really hard. Sarah found a bunch of drug paraphernalia. I'm not sure what it is because I don't do drugs.
Good to know. Good to know. Isn't it interesting though that Beth was having such issues with Paul, like with their sex life and everything, and then Sarah, we now know, comes in pretty much a couple days later, and they have like insane sex. So isn't that interesting that the same person or the same biological makeup can make you, but you're so different? Yeah, I just think it's interesting. Like, you're so different. Like, he's clearly attracted to one of them more than he is the other, even though they look exactly the same and have the same biological makeup.
Well,
Sometimes personality, man, it makes a big difference.
Or British accents.
That's
pretty much all you need.
well, and Sarah was really like.
But she didn't have it when she was hooking up.
Yeah, but Sarah was really engaging too. Like, whereas Beth was kind
drugged out.
Yeah, she was drugged out and
true.
totally not connected. And then Sarah comes in and she's like looking in the eye, like really engaging. Like, what has happened? You were literally an entirely different person.
You're alive. You're alive now.
But so we go back. So finally we see Sarah back to Club Neolution. She gets mistaken for MK by
Which
this
was
guy.
dope.
Yeah. She doesn't even try with the accent.
Nope.
But we do find out that MK is Scandinavian, possibly.
Yeah.
That's what Sarah says.
European of some kind.
Yeah.
Who said that? Somebody was like Sarah was like, sounds Scandinavian. I think it was Art.
Art did,
Art
yeah.
was like European of some kind.
kind.
Something.
Yeah.
Good job, Art. Nice detective work there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is where we see the video of the maggot bot just killing.
Oh, so
the
cool.
guy.
The whole
Killing
like
the host.
spreading thing. It looks Like, if you guys have ever seen, like, those time-lapse videos of, like, fungi growing, it looked like that, like, just taking over dude's face. It was really cool.
That was one of the moments where I'm, like, putting the pillow over my face and going, I can't watch, I can't watch.
I actually just rewatched the season finale of 3 before I watched this episode, and do you guys remember the guy trying to spit the worm into Delphine's mouth?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, Neolutionists are nuts.
It's a little,
And
it's
then,
a little too much for me to watch sometimes.
yeah. And then,
I mean, I watch it because, especially now, since we're doing this after show, I'm like, let me watch.
I have to see, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I have to know what's going on. And then the stuff that comes, like, up the cheek.
Like, all, it's like a vein
It's
or
like a
whatever.
vein. Ugh.
No. Terrifying.
She's like, I love it.
I was really, like, gore, and I was
I'm like, oh my god, I can't.
and I don't know what they used, like, whether that was, like, a prosthetic that they expanded, or if it was CGI, but it looked like it was a prosthetic. It looked like it was played on camera, not done afterwards.
I didn't really look at it that long to, like, study.
I just, like, I went back and I did.
Yeah.
I really did, because it's so, like, I just want to see, like, I'm trying to get, because I know they use a lot of, like, real world science to kind of create these fictional, like, advanced science things. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what the worm is, and like, how does it grow, how does it expand? It's an animal. I'm leaning more toward, like,
It looks like it's metal or something. I don't know. I feel like it's not an animal.
no, I feel like it's probably, it moves like a fungus. So that's where I'm at right now. Like, it's some kind of, like, fungi, but I don't
know.
I don't know.
I feel like it's like a robot. We'll find out. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy the scene of Sarah kind of meeting MK again. MK basically telling her, I can't tell, because she's scared. Everybody's scared to, like, open up to people now, I realize. Like, Alison's scared to open up to Helena because she's crazy, but doesn't fall far from the tree. They're both kind of crazy.
They're all a little crazy.
MK doesn't want to tell Sarah because she doesn't think she can handle it, like Beth. But I think Sarah definitely could, because number one, not a drug user, and
You're really into these drugs.
I just feel like that. Like, she used to be an addict. Like, she's very similar to Beth, but it shows what it would be like if Beth was the main character. This episode shows if, like, Beth was the main character instead of Sarah, and she can't handle it, you know? Sarah's dealt with a lot so far. Like, her daughter, they took her daughter a few times, and so I feel like she could handle it. And then what do you guys think? What do you think? MK and Sarah, do you think she could handle the truth?
I think Sarah's probably the only one who can handle the truth, and more importantly, I don't think she's going to stop until she gets the truth. Like, she's like, I'm going to solve this. She's been on a mission since day one, since seeing the first clone for her. She was like, I need to know what's going on, and completely drives and obsesses her to the point where she's willing to leave her daughter again, which I think is probably why we're starting to get some attitude out of her. It's like, you drag me everywhere. You're constantly putting me in danger. Like, it's never been about her safety. It's always about what is happening around us. Which, to be fair, is probably going to like, she needs to figure it out, because they're obviously not going to stop testing the thing in the mouth. Like, so I get it. I really don't think she's going to stop until she knows 100% who's doing this, who's running it, and why.
What is going on with Kara, though? I mean, if we think about it, has she ever been in school? She's being moved around. She's just in Iceland. She's back in New York. I mean, what is... Or not New York.
Yeah, you're right.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Like, what is she... Yeah.
I think she's just mad that her dad's not around. He just kind of disappeared. She keeps asking where is he, and I think he's busy filming Game of Thrones, honestly.
Sorry, sweetie.
He's
busy.
Yeah, he's working.
Yeah. He'll be back. Hopefully he'll be back. There's a lot of people, honestly, that have been MIA, but we'll get into that in a second, because let's just finish this. The EMTs,
so creepy.
That was a great scene.
I was really scared. I was like, you have to get out of there now.
Yeah, you think they were looking for MK, right?
Yeah, they must have been. What surprised me is that they decided not to do anything with her anyway. Like, when they found out Sarah wasn't MK, they were like, okay, well, we can leave now. I was like, maybe you just showed your faces. Yeah. Like, a whole bunch of things just happened. She now knows some information about you. She now knows this thing is in her. Like,
She
It
knows
feels
that
like they
poses them
revealed a
as
lot of
EMTs.
information.
Yeah.
Well, they're like the middlemen. They're looking for the people they need. If they don't need them, if it's the wrong person, on to the next one. I guess maybe they were trying to implant that into MK.
But Sarah already has one.
Yeah. Or they just need MK's maggot bot to like rip out. Because they're the cheek remover
Because
people.
we don't know if MK has
one or not.
Yeah. And Sarah's the only one of the clones currently, right, who's been
With Dyad.
yeah. So
I mean,
Rachel, yeah.
Rachel has as well.
but they think Rachel's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So I was like, because I was trying to figure out how they knew that it was Sarah off the bat. And I was wondering, like, is there something like engraved on it? Is it placement? But that makes more sense. She's the only one they have, and the other clone they assume is dead.
Did they have Cosima? Like a little bit, but she wasn't ever with the trials. She
I
just
don't
worked
think so.
for them. She just worked for them.
Yeah, I don't know if
That
she
was
ever
it.
like went under.
Yeah.
Feel free,
never know.
audience, to inform us if we're
Yeah.
wrong.
What's
let
going
us
on in the
know.
chat roll? Anything
How
cool?
crazy was it? Who invented that though, where she could just put a flashlight in her jaw and you could see it? Don't you think that a good scientist would make it a little bit harder to see?
Maybe.
Just saying.
I mean, it's
That
not.
I wouldn't know about it, but it's just interesting.
Nobody puts flashlights in their mouths that often, and
I do.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Alright.
kidding.
I mean, I did after this. I was like, let's just make sure.
Right after
nothing-
this, I'm gonna be going and putting flashlight. No,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. I just think it was a little obvious, but obviously they had to do something for her to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, OX in the chat room, they're talking about the difference between Beth and Sarah, and she says the difference is that Sarah has a support system. Do you think it's a really good
That's true.
point?
Because that's like Beth's apartment was empty. Because where's her family? When Sarah, her whole family.
And as you mentioned before, her parents don't even show. They go, she's dead. Well, moving on. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like she has a real connection to anyone, and she's definitely handling the same amount of stress, but completely alone. She didn't have anyone to dump on. So yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
then Boo 69B's Beth was high when she left wearing that blonde wig. She must have done something bad because of it. I mean, maybe.
She definitely, there was blood. I feel like blood's always a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And she already has killed one person on accident. So I think a second would probably
could do it
destroy her. So maybe.
Yeah.
They'll tell us. The thing I love about these writers is they do really give you what you want. They don't leave a lot of things hanging.
It just takes a lot of setup. I feel like this was a big setup episode. Like, we find out Sarah does have a maggot bot. Do you think Kira does, too?
I'm surprised. I thought Sarah was gonna be like, move us, like we need to see now.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't surprise me if Kira had one implanted.
Well, we
like,
can find out next time.
Hopefully.
Just put a flashlight in your mouth.
Yeah.
You can see if you have a
this is
maggot
an
bot in your
easy
cheek or not.
solution.
It was a good episode, but like I said, it was a good setup episode. You know, just to check in with all the sisters. But there's still lots of questions afoot. Like, is Rachel? What's she doing? Is she
I
just?
think she's alive.
Yeah, she has.
she's
that-
alive.
On the
yeah.
previews for next week, yeah, we saw
Yeah.
that she's.
Oh, I didn't see any previews.
She's alive and well.
Yeah, she's definitely
She's
alive.
watching that girl, or at least the last episode, she was left with that girl.
So, do we think that girl is a clone?
That's what. Yeah, she's the younger version of them. That's what they look.
Right, they restarted it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
she's her new mommy.
Whatever happened to the clone? The two clones I missed are the one that was at the nail salon.
Well, we just left her. The last finale, Delphine found her in the hospital. And I think she just helped her to safety.
Yeah, and she'd come back.
Yeah, we don't
And
really.
Tony is kind of
She was
missing
funny.
too.
Yeah.
Tony was just here
I-
for a hot minute.
Yeah, I don't miss Tony that much.
Yeah.
I do. Just because of the dynamic is completely different with Tony.
Yeah.
So many new aspects of the clones can be explored through Tony, and I'm crazy intrigued by him. I really hope that they revisit that. But I get why. I feel like Tony's gonna be one of those things where we're like, crazy mess, what are we gonna do? And then they're like, oh right, Tony, we need your help. Bring us a truck right now. We have things to do.
Yeah.
Tony will come out of the woodwork like, hey, Tony, we missed you. What I do love about this show, though, is that they are constantly staying true to like it's sci-fi, it's like out of this world, but it seems completely real.
Oh gosh,
completely normal. Like
Yeah.
I watch it and I'm like, yeah, that could 100% happen.
If I was also a clone and
I'm
the
like,
evil corporations were chasing
it
me.
could totally happen. And I feel like last season was getting a little out of the box, but they're really bringing it back this season. I'm absolutely loving it, because what I love about it is just how organic it all is. Like, every actor really plays it like this is a totally real situation that's not heightened at all.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Well, also the science stuff, I'm not familiar with it, so you could say science stuff and I'm like, all right, you're right, because I don't know anything about it.
Oh man, the chat's blowing up with monitor talk right now. And somebody mentioned we don't know who Sarah's monitor is. OX.
Did she ever get a monitor, though? Because I feel like she went on the run, and then they came, she was kind of, I feel like S made her kind of influence her to disappear to not get a monitor.
Yeah, I feel like they all don't have monitors anymore, because Donnie's not the monitor anymore. He got fired.
Yeah, that was like...
Monitors are donezo.
But did she though? Like, if she did, if there was ever a point in her life where somebody was monitoring her, who was it?
S?
S.
Yeah.
It could be, but if we don't know that, like, there's a lot of implications to that then. And it would definitely have an effect on how Sarah kind of viewed whatever that relationship was. I'm really intrigued to... I wonder if we'll ever get that information. Whether she... I mean, I'm sure they'll tell us if she had one. I mean, that's an interesting question to me. I never thought about, like, who Sarah's monitor might be.
Ever was. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I always thought it was S.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll talk about... I feel like it's like they're on to the next thing, Mm-hmm. Especially with, like, Paul's dead. Delphine, the other monitor, dead, Half the monitors are gone, so...
I really hope Delphine's not dead.
Yeah, Boo69B says Sarah is hidden and they didn't know about her.
Yeah,
which is entirely possible, as did work hard to make sure that she gets together. But they seem to know a lot about a lot of things, so I guess it wouldn't surprise me if they were like, haha, S, we got you. Like, you thought you hid her, but you didn't.
You never know. You never know with these people. But let's get into some predictions.
Let's
You guys
do it.
want to talk about predictions?
Damn, I'm ready.
Wait for the music.
There we go.
There it is.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
The prediction music is so creepy.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
What do you guys think?
I'm gonna lay a big one out there and say S has something to do with Delphine's death. She had so many questions about it. There's a lot of like kind of guilty, angsty feelings when she was having the conversation with Cosima on the bed about it. She was especially when she said, I can't answer that. I feel like there was a lot of other emotions in there. So it's a stretch. I don't know why or how just yet. Probably because she was flipping back and forth. It wouldn't surprise me if S was like, we gotta put a cap in this. Like, you've been straddling the line too long. We can't trust you anymore. Delphine's never gonna let you go. Or, I'm sorry, Cosima's never gonna let you go. We have to end it. That's my prediction.
I love this show so much. I just love watching what happens. I don't find that I'm as into predictions as I am with other shows. Like, I just want to see what happens. But the one thing I am missing right now is some type of love interest for many people. For Felix, for Sarah, for Cosima. I want to see them all kind of have like a new romantic interest, have that kind of storyline play out.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like
I didn't like Shay that much, but okay.
I feel the opposite. Well, Delphine did tell Shay to watch her, so maybe she'll come back.
Or even let's get a love interest from Mrs. S. Like, let's just get some.
I feel like there's too many more important things to deal with than like love.
There's never anything more to deal with.
It's like I have
romance.
this maggot bot in my mouth. I guess I'll go get a drink with this guy. No, I feel like I don't know.
I'm missing it.
I
Okay,
kind
fine,
of appreciate that they don't have that much love interest because it's just more like I don't know, action.
Plot driven.
Yeah. I have a pretty it's I don't know if it's a big bomb, but I think Kendall's gonna die.
Ooh.
Yeah. From leukemia, maybe, or just something else.
Smoking?
You never know. You probably think it's leukemia, but then she'll get shot, or it's this type of show that just surprises. And I
think she's gonna die as early as next episode,
oh,
or just this season?
Just this season. I don't think she's gonna die. I don't have anything for like
What a
next
twist.
episode. And I think Beth did kill the Detective Duco, the glasses guy, because we don't see him again, and just how he threatened her. I don't know. And
I'm willing to predict that she killed the pregnant lady, or that the pregnant lady is dead.
I don't think she killed her because she was too nice.
I don't think she did
Maybe
it
she
on
helped to
purpose.
give birth. That's what the blood knows. That's
It's possible though. I really think it was the pregnant chick. Like, we don't see dude ever again, so I guess it could be him. Like, we haven't seen him in the current time, but I really feel like the more emotional thing is the pregnant lady, and I feel like something bad, like either she was shot and she was trying to help and she couldn't do it, or like the baby came and they were like in the place and she had to deliver it. I feel like it's gonna be something really dramatic with that character.
I don't know.
But if it is the guy with the glasses, she shot him when she had the blonde hair. So maybe now they're thinking that it was the blonde hair clone that shot him. I don't know.
we'll
All the possible.
I'm just thinking.
Hopefully we'll find out.
I'm just thinking how we can tie that girl back into it because
Yeah.
I thought she was funny at the nail salon.
She was really good. I think also that the maggot bots were invented for like defense. Like, you know how I don't know, this is kind of like a far out prediction, but how the guy clones were kind of invented for like an army.
Yeah.
Maybe these were to like take over hosts like humans to like fight for people.
Oh.
I'm thinking also like was it Animorphs with the
Yeah.
with the slugs in the ears and they take over.
Gosh.
Yeah. Or what is it? The Faculty? How they is that? I don't know.
I have not watched that.
But it's like they take over the host and they just body snatchers, all that stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. It was a good episode. We'll figure it out next week. But let's get into quick news. Quick news.
Yes.
Yeah.
TV News.
Sam can't be here. She's really bummed that, she had to miss it. She loves you guys and everything. But she did want me to tell you that we're getting a special guest. Special guest. May 22nd, Jessalyn Wanlim. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She plays Evie Cho. We saw her last episode with Dr. Leakey. She's going to be coming to sit with the panel, talk maybe some hot goss on set,
I'm
predictions, help us figure it out.
Yes.
Pretty exciting. Pretty exciting.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
But until then, I guess that's all we gotta say, right? What do you got? Where can we find you guys on the internet?
You can find me everywhere at Joelle Monique, and you can check me out on blackgirlnerds.com for my review of Lemonade and Captain America Civil War.
And I'm Amanda Richards. You can find me at AmandaFTA31 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Hey, and I'm Kelly McInerney. You can find me on Facebook, no, not Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter at HollyWeirdo, or just later tonight, I'm going to be hosting the Silicon Valley panel, too.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Bye, guys!
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.